In this lecture, we will cover the relationship between aggression and ostracism. Ostracism describes social isolation and can take on many forms. Ostracism can be relatively short, such as when parents give their children a timeout for bad behavior, or when somebody gives somebody else the silent treatment. Ostracism can also be more long-lasting, such as when children are bullied and excluded from social relationships among peers. Individuals who experience ostracism are reported to have higher rates of depression, eating disorders, suicide attempts, and report riskier behaviors, including riskier sexual behavior. The cost of social isolation and ostracism can be very high. On this slide, I'm presenting recent data about school shootings. As you can see from the infographic, the United States reports an astronomically higher rate of school shootings than any other country. Based on sociological data and research from policymakers, the high rates of school shootings undoubtedly have to do with the availability of guns in the United States. That said, when we look at the types of individuals who commit school shootings, several features of the shooters stand out. School shootings are most commonly perpetrated by white males, and it is often reported that they were socially rejected, as was the case for the shooters who committed the shootings listed here, as well as many others who are not listed. Following the 1999 shooting at Columbine High School, a team of social psychologists were interested in examining whether there was indeed a relationship between social rejection and aggression. Over the past 20 years, social psychologists have documented that ostracism can cause pain. One of the ways that researchers developed to study social rejection in the lab was by creating a game called Cyberball. In this game, research participants are told that they are going to play a virtual game of catch on the computer with other participants. In reality, however, participants are playing the game by themselves and are assigned to play one of two versions of the game, unbeknownst to them. For some participants, they throw the ball to the other players and receive the ball about a third of the time. This experimental condition simulates social inclusion. Other participants, however, initially receive the ball from the other two supposed players, but eventually the two players just throw the ball back and forth between themselves and the participant never gets the ball again. This condition is obviously the social exclusion condition. In research using this paradigm, researchers asked participants whether or not they believed that they were playing with other people, and participants overwhelmingly believed the cover story that they were playing with real people. Also, even though it may not seem like it, participants who are in the social rejection condition show effects that they do indeed feel socially rejected from playing this game. For example, when we look at regions of the brain that are activated when participants are playing Cyberball, we see participants in the social rejection condition have brain activation in the dorsal anterior cingulate cortex. This area of the brain is known to correspond with pain processing. This research illustrates that social rejection is experienced much in the same way as physical pain is experienced. Researchers note that indeed a lot of terminology that we use to describe social pain picks up on the theme of physical pain. For example, a person has hurt feelings or has a heartache. Subsequent research even shows that if participants take an aspirin prior to the social rejection experience in Cyberball, they experience less of an effect of social rejection. Taken together, this research shows that social rejection hurts. Now, turning back to the question of whether social rejection can lead to aggression, research over the last 20 years has led to two divergent sets of responses depending on the research paradigm that was used and the dependent variables that were measured. On one hand, when research participants were socially rejected, some researchers showed that those participants would administer painful noise blasts to another participant who they did not know and who they would not have a chance to meet. In another study, socially rejected participants administered significantly more hot sauce to a random participant to eat, compared to participants in a control condition. Other researchers, however, reported that social rejection caused people to be more socially attuned to others. They were better able to read others' social cues. Ultimately, it was determined that if a participant feels that they have an opportunity to reconnect with the group, they will show affiliative responses to social rejection, as they want to as a way to get back into the group. But if the person feels that there's no opportunity to reconnect with the group following social rejection, they will act aggressively.